Welcome to part 3 of Alys doing the Falcon Punch to blue Birdmen who are a little bit too infatuated with her breast size. Anyway, here's Gryz, who, like I said before, he's the tank of the group. Slow moving, hits very hard, limited skill pool, and by limited I mean one of each. Holy shit. And yeah, that's it. He's not my favorite character in the party. Can't really exploit too many weaknesses other than sheer strength. Woof. There's like dog barking sounds in the soundtrack here, and it's really incredibly cheesy. It's just lovable. Anyway, I'm switching Gryz to party lead because he's the tank, and I kind of want him in the front just so he can soak up all the damage. Alright, time to go to the basement, which is a teensy bit dangerous, like Duran said. Ooh, it's rusted shut. Oh, there's a little trick to opening this door. Just hold here like so, and then 1, 2, 3, lift! It opened. Great. Let's go in. The basement. The enemies down here hit like a bunch of trucks, so you have to be careful. Starting with the Ape Frog. Now the Ape Frog, goddamn, is really dangerous because it can poison you too. But it is allergic to water since it's a sand creature, so use that to your advantage. Alys's Vortex move is a force to be reckoned with too. Well, it looks like Hahn got a new technique called Duran. What the move is basically a debuff of the enemy agility stats, and is also relative to Hahn's mental status as well. Toadstools. Oh, that's fucking disgusting. These guys can also poison you if you're not too careful. You're probably better off debuffing the Toadstool's attack power since they hit really hard. Use Jaloon. There we go. Hahn is pretty much your best friend here. He is an invaluable asset. He can debuff enemies like none other. And Gryz, well, he can take damage really good. That's about it. And he's also good for one-shotting people, but I missed that opportunity earlier. Gryz redeemed himself on that one. Never in a million years would I imagine that a Jawa type creature would take down a mound of crap. The enemy designs in this game are a bit out there. Kind of like in Phantasy Star 2, but not to that extent. You will find an HP Lovecraft inspired monster, but you won't find a rabbit that has its guts hanging out of its stomach. Yeah, that's Phantasy Star 2 for you. But no, this game is oddly, in a way, more lighthearted and even darker than Phantasy Star 2. Lighthearted in that there's actual character conversations here this time around and it's not universally distant, like in Phantasy Star 2, but even more darker because the stakes are actually higher in this game. We're about to see those heightened stakes within the next couple of parts. I mean, this game will get into some deep shit within the next 21 episodes. Let's see, what do I do here? Okay, I just kill him simply. Trust me, even without Rune, I'm still going to get flashy moves by the end of this thing. This is basically any other JRPG. You get stronger and stronger and stronger, and then you fight God, and then you probably win against God, and then game over. Or if you're a certain other RPG, you'll come to realize that the characters you know and love for so long are brutally murdered somewhere. God damn it, Chrono Cross, I'm just gonna pretend like Chrono Cross doesn't exist and that Chrono Trigger is still the best game ever made. Did I mention that Chrono Trigger is still the best game ever made? And I did mention before that this game and Chrono Trigger share some stuff alike, like the combinations, or dual techs as they're known in Chrono. And in this game, they're a bit finicky, and it's on and off on whether or not the characters will actually coordinate correctly. Chrono Trigger is definitely better with the dual techs. Sometimes they'll do the Tri-Blaster triple technique just fine, and other times they'll jump ahead of each other as if to say, "Step back, bitch! Step back, I got this, I'm the hero of the game, you suck." I know you're the main hero of the game, Alys, but still, you need to do the Tri-Blaster on time, otherwise we all die. 500 Meseta. There you go, Alys. There's your 500 Meseta. You happy now? Ah, surprise attack. Please do it right. Yes, they did it right! Let's see what's in this chest right here. Oh, it's 300 Meseta. Looks like Alys just got a little bit extra. That is a really cool move. It does become a bit obsolete later on, but it's still a really badass move to do sometimes. This basement setup is pretty straightforward. It's basically almost a straight shot for the Alshline you're looking for, but there's also some side rooms to grab some extra stuff. You just have to be careful being under-leveled in a place like this. Like that frog slurp probably could have killed Hahn in one hit if I didn't have the proper equipment or the proper level. And that still took 20 hit points off the dude, so yeah, you just gotta keep that in mind. This RPG is not that hard, but there are a couple of roadblocks at certain points of the game. This is definitely the most streamlined Phantasy Star game in the old series, I will say that much, because 1 is 80s hard, 2 is extremely hard, and 3 is not hard but is extremely slow. Like Phantasy Star 1 for example, if you happen to not get an item before a certain point, you're pretty much trapped and you have to reset the game from the beginning, and that's a pretty long game too. And you're like over 3/4 of it. Yeah, good design there, Sega, good design. I will give it slack for coming out in 1987 and being the first in the series, but still. I can't fight Lassic because I don't have this item, I keep dying in one hit, but I can't get down to get the item and therefore I'm fucked and I have to start the game over. And honestly, despite that major flaw, the first Phantasy Star game could have been a lot worse than it actually was. In all reality, Phantasy Star rivaled Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. Sort of. And also the fact that Phantasy Star 1 was the first JRPG ever to feature a female protagonist, in the lead that is. Still a year off from Metroid Samus, but still a big deal. 35 years of an underrated legacy, and yet there's only 4 numbered games and a couple of spin-offs in this series. And not 11 games and a couple of spin-offs, or soon to be 16 games and countless spin-offs. Why is that? Well, the thing is, Sega knew when to close the chapter on a book. And yeah, I know there's Phantasy Star Online 2, they're still making Phantasy Star games even as I speak, but as of Phantasy Star 2 1 through 4, the Algo arc as I like to call it, that hasn't been continued since 1993, and hopefully it never gets continued, because I love the story as it is, and I hate to see it ruined somehow. They did it to Sonic, and hopefully Sonic gets a game of redemption or something in the near future. I'm hoping Frontiers is good, not counting on it, but I can hope. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 the movie was good though. That's probably his redemption right there, is just getting more movies. Until they run that into the ground. Hopefully not. Okay, here I'm just starting to cut through footage here because there's a lot of repeat enemies in this dungeon. Ooh, an antidote. Antidotes, they're okay. I'd rather just use the character skill of Anti, which is antidote, but a character uses some of their TP to cure the person. I would rather use that than an antidote. Carrion Crawlers, the second evolution of the standard caterpillar enemies from outside. They have a new move called Thread, which is demonstrated right there. Basically what it does is the caterpillar will shoot webbing at you like they were Spider-Man, and it slows down the infected character. But other than that, they're not too much stronger than the standard caterpillar. And Chaz just learned a new move called Hennis. Hennis is your get out of jail free card. You can warp out of any dungeon at the cost of some TP. I think it's 5 or 6. The only other character in the game that has the Hennis technique is Rune, so only Chaz and Rune can teleport the party out of dungeons. And Alys leveled up again. She doesn't really get too much in the way of techniques. In fact, you'll notice that Alys's stats begin to match and then eventually fall behind Chaz's. That's done on purpose. You could say that the character stats are a bit wonky, and they are indeed very wonky at times, but they are cleverly implemented. So this is Alshline. Okay, let's hurry and return to Zema to help those people out. Do you think I can go along? My own town was destroyed by Zeo. I couldn't save my father or my mother. One way or another, I need to get my revenge. Hey Gryz, we're not necessarily making this journey for the purpose of defeating Xiao. But didn't that tall guy who was with you say something like that? Oh, that. He was just arbitrarily saying stuff. Either way, I can't stay in this town forever. I'm coming along even if you refuse to take me. Gryz! Come on, Chaz, there's nothing wrong with that. Gryz could be quite a help, and after all, no one knows what's going to happen from here on out. Great! Once again, good to be working with you. Yeah, whatever. Let's get going. With that out of the way, let's get out of here with using the escapipe, which is basically Hennis. But it doesn't take magic, and it takes up a slot in your inventory, which is oddly, very limited in this game, from what I've realized. It's not like Final Fantasy VI, where you can carry 99 potions and still have room for a couple of tents. No, you have very limited space. It's like 36 slots, and everything is its own space. You'll see the inventory get cluttered up later on, as more important items take up slots, and you can't get rid of those. Therefore, this game is bad for the OCD, because the useful items are in the same place as the consumables, and you can't really shift them around unless you use the consumables, but then the consumables will be gone. There were some rather antiquated design choices like that from the 80s that made its way into Phantasy Star 4, but this game is still freaking amazing in its own right. You'll probably get used to the limited inventory space, and if you don't, well, I'm sorry. Oh god, Alys and Hahn are making a winter wonderland in fucking May. Oh god damn it. The reason I'm going through this cave again is because I forgot some stuff from earlier. And that's the good thing about Phantasy Star 4 is the backtracking is not that horrible. Phantasy Star 3 was horrible with backtracking. 1 and 2 were okay with backtracking, but the characters move extra slow in those two. And 3 too. It's like, why are the characters so damn slow in those games? It's like leisurely stroll, encounter, leisurely stroll, encounter, leisurely stroll. Oh god, a dragon! Dead. You have to start that over. This game, however, while the encounter rate is still kind of high, at least you walk really fast in this one, and also you don't die as often because the enemies are easier. And there's also the aforementioned combinations that can cut down enemies really quickly too. Oh, another surprise attack. The weaker the enemies are compared to you, the more you'll surprise attack them. Vice versa for when the enemies are stronger than you. Monster flies are incredibly weak now, and we don't even have Rune in the party. Nice. We should be getting close to the town of Zema. We're at the town of Zema. Oh, why it's you, Hahn! By golly, this is someplace! There are just tons of relics from an earlier civilization. All over the place. You've come at just the right time, you too! Professor Holt, this is no time for that kind of thing! Do you know that you were turned into stone by Xiao? Oh really? Well, here I am now, as good as new, so not to worry. Alright, let's reopen the investigation immediately. Hahn! Yes, sir. Go back to the academy. Give them a report on the state of affairs here. Yes, sir. Good. We're off further into Birth Valley. What a strange old man. Oh well, at least we settled one problem. I'm so sorry, he didn't even say a word of thanks. Well, he's just that kind of guy. Oh, don't worry about that, Hahn. Well, I'm kinda tired after getting this job done. Let's take it easy today, Chaz? Okay. I'm going to return to the academy. I've got to report on what's been happening till now. Okay. What about Gryz? You talking about me? I'm going off to conquer Xiao, even if that means me alone. Let's not be so rash. I don't care whether it's rash or not. I've already made up my mind. Fan servicey shot without the fan service. Okay, I like that. Normally at this junction... Wait, Where am I at? I lost my place. Fuck. Ah, I dropped my coffee. What was that? Someone's screaming. Okay, let's see what's going on since we can't have too much downtime. Oh, repeat enemy. Ah, how are we gonna get in with that creature blocking the way? We'll have to destroy it. Now? Yes, fool, this thing is gonna kill people. Anyway, this another Igla Nova is very easy since we're leveled up and it hasn't gained any levels since then. Honestly, this could have been a stronger enemy variant, but at least it makes a good character moment for Alys and Chaz at the end of the fight. Oh, and I forgot that good boy Gryz is here. He can contribute to the mayhem too. Whenever the screen flashes, either white or red, that means that's a critical hit. White for your critical hits, and red for the enemy's critical hits. You don't want red. How is it now, Alys? Well, it's a little better now. It's a curse! It's because we violated the sacred area that something like this would happen. A curse? Wonder what's further inside. What's going on? The professor's still in there. Alys? I'll keep it to 1,000 Meseta. My wedding fund. Well, it looks like you and Saya are just gonna have to settle with getting married in a cafe because we need the money, okay? Anyway, part 4, there's gonna be more mysteries unraveled and more strange things happening, so stay tuned.